This morning I was thinking about our senses. So often we talk about nutrition, right? And it's just what we consume through our mouth. I think now, as I get older and as just life happens, equally and sometimes more important, it's the things that we bring into our experience via the other senses. So I'm inviting you now to lay on your back, take up some space, and just begin to physically feel your breathing. You can close your eyes if you like and sort of dim down the senses that we use. And studies show often our eyes, our vision, is really directly linked to that shallow breathing. Indirectly, directly. So let's soften some of the senses that are sort of overused, or picture like a dimmer where they're like up high, bright, too bright, bring them down. And let's start to notice our breathing just physically. So as you're laying on your back, so if you're just joining, take up some space on your back. So begin to notice your exhalations, how much room there is as you exhale. And then combine your breathing, just easy breath, with the feeling of your body on the floor, the weight of your head, your shoulders, your arms, and your legs. And so we start to shift, bring up that dimmer switch on things that might be too low, brighten those connections. And they begin to, like a dimmer switch, dim down the tension of the mind that gets stuck in the body. So jaw, the face, the shoulders. And if you want to, as you're laying on your back, kind of just roll your head a little bit, shake the shoulders, and really, really feel the floor. Grounding. Such a great season to use that word, I think, rooting and grounding. Now connect with your grounding breath, the exhalation as you just let go. And now, just like we consume food and drink, every single thought that we have holds massive impact. So our practice is, let's land in the body. So our senses are grounding, and take energy away from thought. Doesn't mean we stop thinking, just when a thought comes in, be like, yeah, I'm alive. That's all it means. And then our choice is this: do we give power to that thought? And sometimes subconsciously and without realizing, we give so much power to thought. So our practice is take attention away from that thought as we recognize it and land in the body. Breath. Make it really simple. Let's start to wiggle the toes and the fingers. You can just whatever feels good or organic. Turn the hands and the feet if you want to stretch. Go for it. Bring your knees to your chest. And try to keep a neutral spine. So if it feels like your tailbone's rolling right up to the ceiling, and especially if you have any lumbar disc issues, try to roll your tailbone down towards your mat. Circle the knees one way and the other way. Rock the body side to side. Connect with your breath. Let your breath think for you. So let your breath be the communicator, compared to our thoughts being the communicator. Let go of your left leg, place it on your mat, pull your right knee towards your right shoulder. Take a breath in as you straighten the left leg, and breath out as you hug the right knee close. Notice your exhales. Inhale. And exhale. So as you're exploring your breath pattern, find just a comfortable rhythm of breathing. And let that be like a rhythm in a song. For example, switch legs. So I like to link my breath to my movements. And that's my personal description of slow flow, is that rhythm of calm breath guiding movements, guiding sensation, even guiding my focus. Be aware of the ground under your body, maybe still rocking the head side to side. Notice where thoughts get stuck in your body. All right, let's release both feet to the floor. Just sway the knees gently side to side as you connect with your breath. It's all about connection. Let's lift the knees up and bend them, shins parallel to the ceiling. We'll move into dead bug. Let's find a neutral spine first. So our spine shape is the same-ish as when our feet were on the floor, except we're using our belly muscles. So try to keep a teeny bit of space between your lumbar spine and the floor. Sometimes I'll even kind of slide my hand there. Lift the knees, tighten the belly. So we're not smushing our back into the floor, just keeping that long spine. Now, hands to thighs. We'll do this first and then dead bug. Tighten the belly muscles, but try to keep your spine shape from the back of your head down to your tailbone the same as you tighten the belly, the abdominals. I'm focusing on right around my belly button. The tendency sometimes is for the belly button area to pop up when other muscles take over, kind of like that dimmer switch. It's going too high. So we dim down the dominant muscles a bit and then begin to wake up those deeper abdominals. Lower abdomen, right where your bladder is. Maybe you press your hands and thighs together more for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can take a break, put your feet down, and then we'll move into dead bug. We'll start with the legs. Lift the knees, bend them, shins are parallel, neutral spine. Reach your arms to the sky and anchor the shoulders. So back of the head, tailbone stays the same. Let's just hover the right leg over the mat. So automatically my spine wants to change. So let's find a neutral spine and then find the muscles that hold that neutral. Lift the knee back up. We'll straighten the left leg now. Tighten the lower abdominals and then lift back up. You just move the legs or at the arms. So I have opposite arm and leg hovering. Pause though. And then slide slowly back up. Focus on lower abs engagement. Reach and hover opposite side, opposite limbs, lift. Reach and hover, inhale or exhale. Let's guide with breath now. Just moving your pattern. And it doesn't even matter if it's exactly the way the arms and the legs move, it doesn't matter. Just focus here on the movement of the limbs, breath, and finding that neutral pelvis and spine. That's our baseline. One more each side. And then feet to the floor. Take a breath as you notice, sort of memorize how that feels. Effort and then ease. Open your arms out now, like the letter T, your palms are up. Lift the knees, shins parallel, tighten the belly. Imagine you've got a pillow or a block that you're squeezing between the thighs. Keep your knees 90 degrees. We're gonna sway them to the right. And then anchor that left shoulder. Shins up to the ceiling. And then sway to the left. A little hover and hold. Excuse me. And then lift back up. Let's inhale. And then exhale to hover. You choose how much. Tighten the belly, lift up. And then exhale to hover. Right to the bottom of the exhale. So one more each side. Good. Back to center. Feet to the floor. A little sway at the knees. Breath. That feels good. Excuse me. Lift the knees up. Bend the knees. This time, hands to the back of the head. Opening the elbows wide with your head on the floor. Let the elbows rest towards the floor. And now we're straightening our right leg. And just do a baby sit-up. Just a baby sit-up. Sit up and then turn your heart towards the left knee or that bent knee. Lay back down and lift the knee up. Really slow here. Straighten your left leg. Baby sit up, open the elbows, and then twist slightly to the right. Lead with your heart and then lay back down. Right leg, sit up and twist and lay back down. One more each side. Left leg, sit up. Just a baby twist. Lay back down. Right leg, sit up, twist, and lay back down. Good. Feet to the floor. And now arms by your sides. Anchor the feet, bridge waves. Lift your hips, tuck the shoulders under you. Knees are over heels. You can arrange your feet in a way that just feels good for your knees. Let's take a long breath here. Fill up your ribs like a cylinder. And then as you exhale, lift your hips a little bit higher. Really anchoring the feet. Inhale, feel that breath. And then exhale, lifting your pelvis higher. If your neck is feeling sensitive, just lower your hips down and drop the ribs down more. Let's lift up. Take a big breath in. Your exhale, hover your hips close to your mat, kind of rolling the spine down. Inhale, push through your heels, lead with your tailbone up, and then exhale to hover. Inhale, and exhale. Continue with bridge waves led by breath. You can add the arms as long as your shoulders and neck are feeling okay. So now we'll hover the hips and reach the arms overhead. Let's lift up and reach to the ceiling or arms all the way back by your sides, okay? Hover the hips, reach your arms overhead, and then press up. Inhale or exhale, you can explore which pattern you like. Just linking the breath. Gaze is up. Not flattening the cervical spine either. Just the back of the head against the floor. Go through one more full range. And then hips to the floor. Sway the knees, take a slow breath. No rush at all. Take yourself over onto your hands and knees into a table. Shoulders over wrists, hips are over knees, back of the head in line with the shoulders. Take a long breath in as you open your chest and lift your gaze. Neck always stays long. And then emphasize your upper back. Exhale, tuck your chin a bit and push your upper back to the ceiling. Opening the heart, inhale. And exhale to round. If you have any lumbar issues, opening here. When you round, focus mostly on your upper back, keeping your low back pretty straight. Following that breath pattern, no rush at all. Go through one more full cycle. And we'll make our way into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes when you're ready. Flatten your spine. Lift your hips, downward dog. Bend the knees a little bit. Draw the navel in and reach your seat bones up. Anchor the hands. Maybe bend one knee more than the other at a time. Take a slow cycle of breath here, pedaling if you like. Pull yourself into a high plank pose now. Walk your feet back, so straight line, back of the head down to your heels. Gaze is just in front of your mat. Lower your knees. Straighten your spine. And when you bend your elbows, bend them in a way you're pulling your chest towards the top of your mat. Lay on your belly. Gaze is down. Draw the elbows towards the ribs, towards the hips. Hover your chest like a back sit-up and anchor the tops of your feet to the floor. Take a breath in and lower slightly. Exhale. Inhale to engage, shoulder blades draw back, and then exhale to hover. Inhale, lift higher, and then hover, exhale, lower. Inhale. This time, knees to the floor, push up, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Neutral spine, try to recreate how your spine was when your back was on the floor. Bending one knee at a time. And then when you're ready, walk or step your feet near the top of your mat. Set your feet hip distance apart. Let's bend the knees generously and then bow the head. Notice the weight of the head. You can nod yes and shake the head no. Connect with a long exhale. Bend the knees a little bit more. Bring your hands to your shins. Tighten the belly and then lift halfway. Bow the head heavy again. And then dig your heels into the ground. I'll say root as you stand up. Reach up. You can lift the arms. Inhale. Lower your arms. Exhale. Full breath in. And a long breath out. Setting your feet hip distance apart. Let's reach forward. Bend the knees. Chair pose. In your chair pose, anchor the heels. Tuck them apart. Tighten the belly muscles just like when you had hands pressing to thighs. Sitting low if you like. You can shift the weight of the body heel to heel slightly. So even in chair pose, just like in mountain pose, we shift the weight. You can notice the difference. Sometimes I'll even lift one foot up just for a second or half a second and another foot. Just make sure your knees feel stable. Just really grounding in the body. Feel the floor. Take one more breath. And then stand up. Reach up. Inhale. We'll come back to chair pose. Exhale. Inhale. Stand up and reach up. Tuck the tail under a little bit. Exhale. Chair pose. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Okay, so now chair pose. Option to come into awkward pose. So lifting your heels up. Feet are hip distance apart. Sitting lower if you like. Challenge your balance. Breathing slowly. Then stand up, reach up, lower the arms and heels down, moving through a really slow flow now. Sweep your arms high, inhale. Exhale, bend the knees and then bow, heavy head. Flat back on an inhale, nice and slow. Plank pose on an exhale, lower your knees to the ground. Straighten the spine, inhale. Bend your elbows, exhale. You can go to the belly or push up. Push up to a plank. Option to open your heart. Gaze is forward. And then exhale, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale, you can lift your heels. Exhale, lower your heels. Prepare with an inhale. feet to your hands. Exhale. When you halfway lift, bend the knees enough. That back of the head to tailbone, make a line. Head, your navel draws in. Bow your head and then hinge all the way to stand. Stretch the arms high. Reach forward, bend the knees. And now bring your feet close together. Sitting really low here. Take your left hand to your lumbar spine, right hand to your left thigh. Pull your tailbone back and down, and then twist towards the left. Try to keep the back of your head to tailbone in line. You can gently roll that shoulder back, widening your heart, tightening belly. Keep the breath strong, connected. Slowly return to center. Stand up, stretch the arms up. I'm inhaling here. Exhale, reach forward, sit back and down. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale, begin your twist on this side. Inhale, find length, and exhale to twist. 2 strong breaths. So be aware of the tendency to hold the breath when there's sensation or thought. Let's bring the breath right into the equation. Good, back to center. Stand up, stretch the arms high, big breath in. And then exhale, you can bow over your legs. Inhale, lift your heart, draw the shoulder blades back. Exhale, place your hands down, step into plank, and lower your knees. Inhale, lengthen your neck, open your heart. Exhale, bend the elbows just a bit. Inhale, push back up with the option to open the heart, gazes forward. And then exhale, tuck the toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale now, lift your right leg high. Exhale, come to plank and bring your knee towards your chest. Keep the neck long here. Inhale, sweep your leg high. Exhale, come forward, knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, sweep your leg high, nice and slow. And then exhale, bring your knee towards your left elbow. Sweep your leg high, we're gonna stay in down dog. Put your foot down. Come into a high plank pose and straighten the body. Lower your knees if you like. Think baby push-up. So bend the elbows so your neck does not change. Pulling your chest towards the top of your mat and then push up. Option to open the heart, shoulder blades draw together, neck grows long, and then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts high, inhale. High plank pose, knee to chest, exhale, inhale. Sweep the leg high. Your exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. And then other elbow, exhale. Good. Lift the leg, we're staying here. Foot down, high plank. Can lower the knees. When you bend your elbows, elbows over wrists. So bend them in a way you're just pulling your chest forward, push up. Roll the shoulders back a bit, open your heart, and then downward facing dog, good job. Inhale, you can sigh it out, exhale. Inhale to prep, exhale, feet hip distance apart at the top of your mat. Inhale, hands to shins, lift your heart, exhale. Bow your head, belly can be on thighs, and drop the head heavy. Inhale, squat to stand. Reach up. And exhale, arms come down. A little bit of work in our lunge. Step your right foot back. It's a long step. Feet are hip distance apart. We're gonna hover that back knee. Tug the front area of your pants up as you tuck your tail under. Let's bring the elbows like you're sliding your elbows down a wall in line with your shoulders. You can change the position of your feet. Let's prepare with a full cycle of breath. Inhale, straighten, legs and arms. And then exhale, hover that back knee or bending of both knees. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, slide down, tuck the tail. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, one more. To our hold, take your left hand to your back. Right hand reaches up, tilt the tail under, hover the knee, and then reach away from that back knee. Both arms up. We're going to straighten and then open warrior two. Take your time. You can open your stance a little bit. Bend the front knee. Back foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat. Shoulders are heavy. Challenge your lunge. Inhale. And exhale. Turn the palms up. Inhale, straighten, lift the arms. And exhale, slowly come back. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale, one more, just like that. Come to your lunge. Front hand lifts. Turn your palm back. Reach up, or you can reach back. Lunging deeper if you like, lifting out of the ribs. Full cycle of breath here. Even if we're not dancing dynamically, keep that breath dancing. Come back to warrior two. Keep your lunge. Palms to the side, and now right fingers up. Bent knee, triangle. Imagine your left hand pulling something away from the floor. Opening the heart. Breath is strong. Right hand to your hip. Let's straighten the front leg. Find a little bit of a stretch here. Lifting out of the ribs, and then you can slide that hand a little bit lower, but think about lifting through the bottom set of ribs. You can open those wings. Moving into, I'm going to call it half move. Hand to hip, so that top hand to hip. Look down, take a shorter stance, and first just stand on the front foot. So we're not aiming for something in particular, let's ground. Feel that foot wiggle and wobble, and then if you're standing on one foot, focus on just straightening your body, head to heel. You can open your wings if you like. This is why I call it half move. So if we're aiming for an idea of a pose, what happens really quickly is we skip over containment, and then there's this kind of like hunching. Let's focus on straightening the body and then leading with that lifted heel. So sideways teeter-totter. Just play with it. Don't forget to breathe. And when you're ready, set that foot down. Alton toes face the same direction now, long side of your mat. Bring your heels in, toes out. Let's start with hand on hip. Bend the knees, pull your bum back and down. And then arrange your feet, toes are on an angle. And then tuck the tailbone under. So the low back gets really long here, just to shift emphasis in the pelvis. Slide your hips down. If your knees are collapsing in, you can rearrange your feet and pull the weight of your body back and down. Option to reach forward or press hands to heart. Begin to lift one heel at a time, maybe a couple of pulses, just explore. Finding that breath. One each side. Then if you'd like, try lifting both heels for 5. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, heels down. Stand up and lower the arms. Good. Turn all 10 toes the same way. Heel toe, and then turn to face the front of your mat. Stand on your left foot. Reach the right leg back. Forward teeter-totter. Arms by your sides. Lead with that back heel. Toppling tree. Flex the foot. Option to play a little bit. So you can keep that alignment head to heel. Open to a half moon. And then square the hips to the floor. You might wobble out like I did. And then do that again. So just notice the center, which is our containment, our neutral spine and pelvis. And then how you can rearrange your relationship with gravity. All right, slowly come up and drop the arms heavy. So neutral in standing, imagine you're standing against the wall. Back of the head, shoulders, bum all the way to the heels. Roll those shoulders back and down, and many of us, myself included, tend to have my chin come forward. Practice drawing the back of your head in line with your heels and tailbone. Stay here if you like. We'll reach the arms up. Bend the knees and then bow. And drop the head. Flat back. Hands to the ground, plank. Replicate what you just did standing. Back of the head to heels. You can lower the knees or not. So this shape doesn't change when we bend our elbows. Bend the elbows. Point the toes, top of the feet root. You can open the heart. And then downward facing dog. Good. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Prep with a breath in. Feet to your hands. Exhale. Inhale, flat back. You're reaching your seat bones back. Exhale, heavy head. Stand up. Lift the arms, stretching up. And then arms by your sides. Lunge on your other side. So I'm going to turn this way. So my other foot, make sure it's your other foot, left foot steps back. So this is a pretty long step. Start to tighten as though you have belly suspenders right around the navel. And now combine that with hovering the knee. So both knees are bent. Reach up and then slide your elbows back. Try to line the back of your head, elbows and tailbone, like you're sliding up and down a wall without stepping back. Now straighten both legs. Squeeze your left bum and stretch the arms up. Inhale. Exhale. Contain and slide, hover. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more full slow cycle. So now to our hold. You're going to take a shorter stance if you like. Hover the knee, low back is long, right hand to my back, sliding left hand over. Tuck the tail forward, squeeze your bum. And breathe away where you're connecting your breath to the rib cage area. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Good job. Lift both arms up. We'll straighten and then open warrior two. You can open up that stance a little. Front knee bends over the ankle, shoulders are heavy, and breath is easy. If you can't find that rhythm of breath, then scale back the poses. Find that breath. Let's reach up. Inhale. Exhale to slide. Inhale up. And exhale, lunge. Let your breath think for you. Let's go through one more. Find your lunge. Right fingers reach up, so I'm turning my palm back. You can bend the elbow if you like. So we're finding length and lift. Lunge deeper if you like. If it feels okay, stretching through those ribs. Reach back, lunge forward. Good. Come back to warrior two. We're keeping that knee bent. Palms to the side, bent knee triangle. Bring your hips closer to the earth. Press lightly on the thigh. Lift out of the bottom ribs. Left arm reaches up. Opening those wings. Neck is long. Let's bring that top hand to hip. Straighten. Lift particularly out of the bottom ribs. Lift. And then lightly place your hand on your thigh. Left hand can reach to the sky again. And then practice here, tugging the heels towards each other. And if you're rounding down, think about lifting up. Open. Hands to hips, look down. Take a shorter stance. And just play hop. So the focus here is just to play with our sense of ground. Pull attention away from any extra dialogue. Push through that lifting heel. I like to imagine there's actually a weight on that lifted heel that I'm pushing up to the sky. Counterbalance. And just let your body follow where your attention is. Half moon. Play with it. Good, and then slowly come back. This time, we'll lift the back heel, hips forward, and then play forward teeter-totter. Just launch. When you're ready, straighten the body. Lead with the left heel. Square the hips down and teeter-totter just a bit. Our mind tricks us. Sometimes we think we're going further. We have these ideas, and really, we're just skipping over quality connection. Feel free to come to half moon, half moon. And then square the hips forward. There isn't an expectation here. It's literally just exploration. And this side might feel different than the other. Right to left. You're just waking up different connections in the brain and the nervous system. Good. And then finally, when you're ready, find your standing position. Feel free to walk on the spot. So bending one knee alternately at a time. You can sway the hips. Stay here or sweep the arms high. If a back bend is feeling good, anchor the heels, tailbone to heels, flex the legs, lift the heart, lead with your heart lifting and thumbs. Neutral spine, let's reach forward and then bow over the legs. Finding your halfway lift, plank pose. You can lower the knees, straighten the body. When you bend your elbows, keep them over the wrists. To the belly or push up. Open the heart, upward dog, shoulders are over wrists. Neck stays long, opening heart. And then downward facing dog, good. Take a full cycle of breath here. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Long exhale. Root to rise, reach all the way up. And then sweep your right arm under your left. You can either hug palms to shoulders or twist high. Bend the knees deeply. Stand on your left foot and then just lift your right foot up, just like we might have practiced before. Stay here, and when you're ready, cross right around the left. So finding eagle pose, a little bit of balance play here too. Sit low enough that the crossed leg, right leg on top, toes touch the floor. Shoulders down, elbows up, neck feels supported, breath is strong. When you're ready, slowly lift up. We're going to take that right heel and root it a medium step back. Lunge forward, elbows up, open heart. Begin to root your heels, tugging them towards each other as you lift your heart. Release the arms high. Option to bend the elbows. Combine this lifting through the heart with lengthening the neck, maybe lifting your gaze. Begin to keep that back heel rooted. So now we're going to tilt the spine in line with the back leg. Straighten the front leg now. If this feels awkward, take a shorter and a wider stance, okay? Sweep your arms back. Take elbows or hands to hips. Begin to pull your front hip. My left foot is forward back, and tilt a bit more. Keep reaching your heart forward and tilting. You can always take a shorter stance. If it feels like you're pulling on your back more than anything, lift higher. Square the hips forward. Teeter-totter. And breath. Slowly rise up. Step feet side by side, sweep the arms high, and left arm comes under. So I like to imagine I'm against the wall. If you're hunching, think about pulling your head, shoulders, tailbone to heel against that wall, and then find where your shoulders feel settled, but you're feeling a nice stretch. Sit low, and then left leg lifts. You might pause there for a second and wrap left around right. Elbows up, shoulders down, and breath is slow and steady. The value in our practice is noticing when we start to follow our thoughts. And take a breath in that space, just like hands on a steering wheel, turn our attention. That's where our power is. Softening tension of the mind that sticks in the body, the jaw and the shoulders. For me, take one more full breath. And slide up slowly. Root the left heel. This time we're bending the front knee. Tug the heels towards each other. My back foot is on an angle. Release the arms up if you like. Lunging. Tug those feet towards each other. Really feel the ground. Opening the heart. As you're lunging, lifting the heart. Breathing in a way that feels soothing. Release the arms. You bring your hands to your hips. Tilt your torso now to match the back leg. Straighten the front leg, square your hips forward. And now with a long spine, just begin to reach the heart forward. So now feel free to clasp your fingers. and hinge here. If you feel like your hips are pivoting, take a shorter stance. Try to square your hips forward and just find that spot where, yeah, it feels awkward, but it feels okay also. Slowly rise up. And when you're ready, step forward. Reach up and bow. Flat back. Plank pose. Lower your knees if you like. Inhale. Pull the body forward. Exhale, bend the elbows. Push up. Inhale, then widen your chest. Lengthen your neck. Open your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Full breath in. And a long breath out. Come forward to plank. Lower your knees. Untuck your toes. Lengthen your neck. So find that combination where your heart feels wide, your neck feels supported and long. And now bend the elbows to the belly. Pulling your chest forward. Come to your belly. Sweep your arms back now. Lift your legs and arms. Stay here or bend the knees, grabbing the feet. If you've got your feet, take a breath. And then lift your chest. Let go if your knees or anything hurts. Soft release. Palms to the floor, look down. Push to the knees, child's pose. Slowly lift up. Stand on the knees. Tuck under your toes. Bring your hands to frame your tailbone. Keep your low back long. Try to keep your hips over your knees. Open the heart. Keep the neck long. Now focus on a combination of opening around the chest with supporting the shoulders, the neck. Shoulder blades slide together, elbows can squeeze back. Option to reach for your heels. When you're ready, roll on up to a neutral spine, heavy arms. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take yourself to lay on your back now. Arrive on your back with your feet flat on the floor. And sway your knees side to side. Lift your right leg up. Push through your heel. You can roll out the toes. Rest your right ankle now on your left knee. You can push your knee away from you with your hand. Feel free to close the eyes. Option to stay here or reach your right hand in between your legs and pull your left knee towards your left shoulder. Thread the needle. Keep the back of the head resting on the floor. If your back feels like it changed a lot, just set your foot on a block or just back on the floor. Part of my practice here is to reach my tailbone towards the end of my mat so I can feel length and a slight lift in my lumbar spine. Take another full breath. Release. And then stretch your left leg high. Push through the heel, tighten the belly. You can roll the foot and ankle. When you're ready, ankle to thigh. Notice how your spine feels. You can rock the hips a little bit. Option to thread through. Notice your exhalation softening places that the mind sticks in the body. Our body carries our thoughts with us. If we don't allow a flow of energy, freedom, connection. Breath is that wonderful anchor to perceive differently, to even think differently. Take another full breath. And then release your feet to the floor. Moving into a twist. Feel free to have a couple of pillows. Hips to the left. Lift your knees up so your shins are parallel. This is where a block between the thighs or a pillow between the thighs can be helpful. Drop knees to the right. And then open left arm out to the left, look to the left. So you're gonna prop a pillow under that left shoulder, pillow under the bottom thighs. Everything's soft. Sometimes I'll open my arms out like this, letter T, and then bend the elbows. Keep the neck long and turn your face one way, away from the knees. Close your eyes, become aware of your breathing in your torso. One or two more breaths. Of course, you can stay longer in any pose. Maybe you're just sitting and having coffee. That's okay too. Slowly lift up, hips to the right. Let's set the knees like a 90 degree and then drop to the left, opening out. 3 or 4 breaths. Think about the connection of breath like a cylinder, physical, all the way around the ribcage. Sending the energy of breath to your back. Welcome to finish your practice in just any comfortable position. Coming into butterfly pose, hips to center, soles of the feet together. Just let your knees open like a book, and then adjust your shoulders comfortably, hands on belly or arms on the floor. Close your eyes. Take a full breath. Scan the body for tightness related to thinking. And replace that with breath, the energy of breath. The energy is